Hi, my name is Spencer Doman, and I am the Chief Innovation Officer for Doman International. And in this video, I'm going to be asking a common question that I get, which is, who was Glenn Doman? Well, first of all, Glenn Doman was my grandfather, and that's why I'm answering this question in the first place. And his life mission to help parents be the very best parents that they could be and help children reach their fullest potential in life was something that inspired me from a young age. And as I watched it growing up, it became my life mission as well. Now, to start just by addressing the question, who was Glenn Doman? I think we really have to go back to the 1940s to just to say that he was a physical therapist and he was treating patients with strokes. So these were older patients who had suffered brain injury. And he found that a lot of the things that he'd been taught in school, kind of conventional therapies, weren't working with his patients. And, fortunately for the world, he was an impatient guy. And so he started to develop his own programs and treatments. And what he realized was that a lot of the therapies he had been taught were not actually fixing the source of the problem, which was in the brain, right? Instead, they were symptom focused. And the problem is you can't fix a disease or a problem by focusing on the symptoms. You have to treat the root cause of the problem. And the thing is, if you're able to treat the problem, and for his patients, the problem was in the brain, then the symptoms start to go away. And so what he started to do was to develop programs that helped rehabilitate and helped develop and organize the human brain. This is a phenomenon called neuroplasticity, the human brain's ability to change and grow when given certain kinds of stimulation or certain kinds of activity. And so over time, Glenn started to create all kinds of different treatments and programs, cognitive programs, sensory programs, physical and mobility programs. He was a physical therapist, that was his background, so that was of great interest to him. And then over time, the Doman Method started to incorporate elements of nutrition, which he found was a very important part of development and for improving brain function. And also, it also started to incorporate respiratory programs. And so over time, the Doman Method through innovation improved and its ability to help patients got better. And so Glenn is very well known for his book, What to Do About Your Brain Injured Child, which he wrote for parents of children with special needs. This book was written for parents of kids diagnosed with autism, cerebral palsy, developmental delay, epilepsy, mental retardation. There are some children even diagnosed with that. And even children with trisomy 21 and other genetic disorders that lead to neurodevelopmental delays. And sometimes people see the title of the book and the parents will say, oh, but I don't think my child has a brain injury. He has this other issue. And well, what Glenn explains in the book is that all of these children, while their symptoms might greatly differ, all of their problems originate in the brain. And at some point during that child's development, it could have been during pregnancy, during the birth process, or after birth, their brain development was affected, right? So there was an injury to the brain. So he called all of these children brain injured children. And the good news is that if we can address the source of the problem, which is in the brain, then the symptoms start to go away. The symptoms might be mobility problems, they might be speech problems, they might be behavioral issues, they might be learning difficulties. It completely depends on the individual. But the good news is, if you treat the source of the problem, the symptoms start to go away. And so at Doman International, we have a team that teaches parents how to utilize the Doman Method to help their children with special needs develop and grow. And so our founder of Doman International, Douglas Doman, is my dad and the son of Glenn. And my mother, Rosalind, is our clinical director. And so we have 5 Domans as a part of our executive team. that leads Doman International, and we are a organization that works in nearly every continent of the world, teaching parents how to help their children reach their fullest potential using the Doman method. So that is my very short answer about who was Glenn Doman.